What's up, folks? It's the Sportsbook Killa breaking down the UFC 299 fight card. We first got the bantamweights in the main event. We got Sugar Sean O'Malley battling Marlon Vera. Marlon Cheeto Vera. I gotta go with Sean O'Malley on this one. He's a jiu-jitsu brown belt. Ridiculously hard striker. Tall, slim, lanky frame. Super fast striker. He's just a sniper in there. I think he'll jump out 2 rounds ahead of Cheeto Vera, and Cheeto will be swimming against the undercurrent from that point on. I am going to take that the fight goes over 1.5 rounds, over 2.5 rounds, and probably over 3.5 rounds as well. I could clearly see this fight going to a decision because Cheeto Vera has a very strong chin, and so does Sean O'Malley. But I definitely got O'Malley to win, and I'm going to be taking the overs. I think the fight will last a little bit. The next fight's going to be the lightweights. We got Diamond Dustin Poirier going up against Benoit Saint Denis. This is going to be an explosive fight. I'm going to be going with Benoit Saint Denis on this one. Dustin Poirier, I like him. I hate cheering against Dustin Poirier, but he's 35 years old. He is a jiu-jitsu black belt, and he can wrestle, so he has a good ground game. And his boxing is phenomenal. Probably if he was fighting anybody except Saint Denis, I probably would be betting on him. But Saint Denis is just a young warrior, man. This guy, his jiu-jitsu is on point. He's a hard puncher. His cardio's great, and his ground game is strong. His wrestling and his jiu-jitsu is just strong. And he appears to be the younger, hungrier fighter. So I got to go with Benoit Saint Denis on this one. I am going to take the over 1.5 round prop because both of these guys are super tough. And I may throw a little something on the over 2.5 round prop. Next fight's going to be the welterweights. We got Kevin Holland battling from Bellator, Michael Venom Page. Okay. I like Michael Venom Page on this one. I got to go with him because Kevin Holland, sometimes he tends to find a way to lose a fight when he has a clear path to winning. So I'm going to go with Michael Venom Page. I like Kevin Holland. Don't get me wrong now. I like him. He's a second-degree Kung Fu black belt. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. Very hard puncher, and his cardio's great. But Michael Venom Page, I normally don't like to bet on guys in their UFC debut, but I like what I've seen from him so far, and I think he could have the style to basically outpoint Kevin Holland and win a close decision. We'll see. I don't think either guy gets knocked out, though. These guys are tough. So I'm going to be taking over 1.5 and over 2.5 round props. I'm pretty much probably going to bet that the fight goes the distance. So that's that fight. The next fight, we got more welterweights. We got Gilbert Burns battling Jack Maddalena. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to take Gilbert Burns on this one. And the reason why is because Gilbert Burns is a third-degree black belt when it comes down to jiu-jitsu. He has a phenomenal ground game off his back, or if he's on top, you're in trouble. Not only that, he's a hard striker as well. He's tightened up his wrestling, so he has very good takedowns. And in Jack Della Maddalena's fights, if you see him get taken down, it's always a struggle for him to get back up. So if Burns gets him to the ground, it could be a wrap pretty quick. So I'm going to go with Gilbert Burns, even though Gilbert Burns like 37 years old, and Jack Della Maddalena is 27. So we're talking about a 10-year age difference. Maddalena is definitely going to be the crisper striker. I'm already expecting that. I'm betting on Burns, just banking that he should be able to get the fight to the ground. If he gets it there, just once in the first round, once in the second round, and he can coast the third round. But if he gets it to the ground, Maddalena is more than likely not going to get back up, or more than likely going to get submitted. And if he makes it back up, he'll be so exhausted that the striking probably will be evened out at that point. So I'm going Gilbert Burns, and I think this fight more than likely goes the distance. I'll say at least over. I'm going to take the over 1.5 round prop. Next fight, we got the bantamweights. Peter Yan going up against Song Yadong. This should be a fight. Oh, this should be a fight. Peter Yan has very good boxing, very good takedowns, and a strong chin. And he's a versatile striker. He punches, kicks pretty good. I'm going to go with Song Yadong. And the reason I'm going with Song Yadong is because of the power factor. He's going to be a little taller. They're going to have pretty much the same reach, though. But Song Yadong has KO power, great takedown defense, and he's a versatile striker as well with a strong chin. So I'm going to take the overs in this one, too, the over 1.5 and over 2.5 round prop, because I could see this fight going the distance. Both of these guys are super tough. So I'm taking Song Yadong over Peter Yan, and I'm taking the fight gets over 1.5 rounds and over 2.5 rounds on this one. Next fight, we got the heavyweights. Curtis Razor Blades going up against Jailton Almeida. Oof. You talking about a grappling fest. This is going to be good. I'm going to go with Jailton Almeida. Both of these guys are phenomenal wrestlers. However, Jailton Almeida can mix his jiu-jitsu with his wrestling, and he is a monster on the ground. A monster. I definitely think Curtis Blades has the advantage when it comes to the striking. No doubt. And Curtis Blades is more than likely going to be the bigger guy. What made me lean toward Jailton Almeida is the way he handled Derek Lewis. I know Derek Lewis is not a grappler, but Derek Lewis is huge. And he kept taking Derek Lewis down and keeping him down. Now, I don't know if he can hold Blades down for that long amount of time, but I tell you what, he looked pretty good in there against Derek Lewis on the ground. He didn't get exhausted wrestling a big man like that. And I don't need him to hold Curtis Blades down for the whole fight. I just need him to hold him down long enough to get the decision. So I'm going to bet that the fight starts the second round, and that'll be about it for prop bets for this one. So I'm going to take Jailton Almeida over Curtis Blades, and I'm going to bet that the fight starts the second round. Next fight, the women's flyweight division. We have Macy Barber. She's battling Caitlin Sermonera, formerly Caitlin Chukagan. I'm going to go with Macy Barber on this one. Yeah, she's a second degree karate black belt. She has a great ground game, good grappling. She trains at Team Alpha Male. Caitlin Sermonera, her striking's good. She's a jiu-jitsu brown belt, but her striking is very good. If it comes down to just the striking, I couldn't bet on Macy Barber in this one. But I know Macy Barber's going to mix in some takedowns and some grappling. So I'm going to take Macy Barber, and I think this fight goes the distance as well. So wouldn't be a bad move to take the over 1.5 and over 2.5 round props on this one. Next fight, we have the lightweights. Matias Gamrot fighting Rafael Dos Anjos. Now, this one's going to be interesting. Matias Gamrot, this is the closest thing I think I have to this is one of my solid picks. I definitely think Gamrot is going to win the grappling battle between the two of these guys. Rafael Dos Anjos is no joke on the ground. He's a 4th degree jiu-jitsu black belt. He's good. And he has good striking. He's been in the UFC forever, but he's 39 years old. Matias Gamrot has very strong, relentless chain wrestling, and he just keeps going. He has great cardio, and I got to go with Gamrot on this one. He's a 3.5 to 1 favorite, so I'm not totally comfortable because Dos Anjos is really good on the ground, but I think Gamrot's wrestling will give him the edge. He has very strong wrestling. So I could see this fight going the distance as well. So I'll be taking over 1.5 and over 2.5 round prop in this one as well. Next fight, we got the bantamweights. Pedro Munoz going up against Kyler Phillips. I'll be honest, I watched Kyler Phillips fight quite a few times. I just never feel confident betting on him. If I had to bet on this fight, I would bet Kyler Phillips. because I just can't trust Pedro Munoz. For every victory he has in his career, he has 2 losses to go with it. So can't necessarily ride Pedro Munoz. But he did decide to fight when he fought Chris Gutierrez. So it's one of those things. But I'm pretty much going to stay away from this one. I'll take that the fight goes over 1.5 rounds and over 2.5 rounds. I could definitely see this fight going the distance. So I'll be betting that, but I won't be putting too much on the winner or loser. If I had to, maybe I'll sprinkle a few bucks on Killa Phillips and see if he can try not to disappoint me. Next fight, you got the light heavyweights. Ian Cutelaba versus Felipe Lins. I'll say this about Ian Cutelaba. This guy is one of the most explosive takedown knockout artists on the planet. For 4 minutes. That's about all you get with Ian Cutelaba. After that, he slows down, and it's a very good chance if he don't get it done in the first round, he ain't getting it done. So I didn't even pick a winner for this one because when I watch Felipe Lins, he pins guys against the cage but never gets a takedown. So I just, and his stand-up is okay. So I can't really go with either one of these guys. As far as the winner or loser, I guess flip a coin. If you think Felipe Lins can last past the first round, you may want to go with him. But I'm not going to bet on this one. I will take a little prop bet that the fight starts the second round. I will do that, but that's about all I'm going to do on this fight right here. So good luck picking that one, y'all. Next, we have the middleweights. Michel Pereira going up against Michael Olejniczak. Oh, man. I'm going to call him Michael O because his last name is very long. Michael O has KO power, has a strong chin. He's a pressure fighter, but he has a weak ground game. Michel Pereira is a jiu-jitsu black belt, very hard striker and very versatile striker. And now that he's settled down, he's not like he was when he first got to the UFC. He was doing all those flips and all that stuff, exhausting himself. Now he's pacing himself properly in his fights, and he is a really good striker. I'm going to have to lean Michel Pereira because he has the ground advantage. Both of them going to do some good striking, but Michel Pereira has the ground advantage, and I could see this fight going a distance. But Michel Pereira is going to have to be careful because Michael O, if he lands, he can get a stoppage if he lands on that chin. So I'm going to go with Michel Pereira to win, and I think the fight goes the distance. So I'll take the over 1.5 and over 2.5 round props. Next fight, these are the heavyweights. We got the Cuban sensation, Robelis, the bad boy, the Spain. This guy's interesting. This is going to be his first UFC fight. He's had 4 professional fights so far. His last 3 fights all ended in the first round. And if you combine the time of his last 3 fights, it totals like 19 seconds. He's knocked some guys out in like 5 seconds. This guy, he is explosive. He won the bronze medal in Taekwondo for Cuba. So he's going up against Josh Parisian. Josh Parisian doesn't look all that great. His ground game's horrible. His takedown defense is horrible. But he is a hard puncher. I have to go with Robelis de Spain on this one. I can't feel super strong on it because we don't know what he's going to look like against real UFC talent. He's been knocking guys out in lower tiered fight networks, but UFC is totally different. And his grappling doesn't look that great. I saw one of his fights where a guy pinned him against the cage, and as big as he was, he still couldn't get the guy off. He ended up KOing the guy at the end of the first round, but he couldn't get him off. But I'm going to take this Spain. I'm going to throw a little something on him to see what he does in the UFC, and I'm going to definitely take the under 2.5 round prop. Then I'll sprinkle a little something on the under 1.5 round prop. The next fight, we got the flyweights. CJ Vergara, going up against Asu Almabayev. Now, this is going to be an interesting fight. This is one of my stronger picks as well. Asu Almabayev, he's close to being a 4-1 favorite. This guy's grappling is good. He not only grapples, but he goes after those takedowns, and he goes after those good submissions that you just don't see every day. This guy is good, and CJ Vergara is going to be in for a long night. So I'm going to be going with Asu Almabayev on this one, and I'm going to take the under 2.5 round prop just in case Almabayev gets that submission. So that's that. Last fight, we got the women's flyweight division. We got Joanne Wood going up against Marina Moroz. I looked at both of these ladies' fights. Flip a coin if you want to. If you make me bet, I would take Marina Moroz, but I don't want to bet on Moroz. I'll just bet that the fight goes the distance. Yeah, I'll bet that the fight gets out of the first round. I'll bet that it gets out of the second round. And I might toss a little something on the distance. But that's about it. I'm not going to fool this fight too much because both of them have about an equal chance of winning, if you ask me. And Moroz is a 2-1 favorite, and I just don't see that in her game. But we'll see. Anyway, that's the end of the fight breakdown, y'all. Good luck this Saturday. Try to minimize your parlays. 2-pick, no more than 3-pick parlays. Don't go in there with no scrolls hoping you're going to hit a pot of gold. Just try to make some money, And then if you have a few of those wild parlays where you want to have 6 and 7 picks on there, do it. But just make that a small portion of your betting portfolio, But you got to get that consistent money. So do those 2 and 3-pick parlays to keep you where you need to be. Pick up some money. Mix the winner of the fights with the over-unders of another fight. That's all you have to do. Do those all the way, 2 picks here, 2 picks there. Then every now and then you come with your 3-pick parlays, Bet a little less because you're going to get more odds on your money. So you don't have to bet as much. But that's how you do it. And if you want to do a crazy parlay where you win some insane amount of money, okay, that's cool too. But just make sure that's just a small portion of your betting. Okay. Good luck this Saturday, folks. This is Sportsbook Killa. I'm out.